Hi there, my lovely Haywood Community College folks. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. And so I know that I'm a little bit late in getting this video out to you, but I wanted to take some time to tell you one, I'm loving your personal narratives. I am trying to get those grades back to you ASAP. Just been a very busy couple weeks, and so I'm trying to catch myself up. So just so that you know, like we're going to be a little light right now until next week, just so that we get a chance to catch up. So for this week, we're going to kind of continue in our rhetoric discussion. And so I'm going to talk to you about multimodal rhetoric. But here, wanted to let you know that the discussion board has officially been fixed. I accidentally set the close date as February 15th. So that was my problem. And so this one, I'm really excited to see what you guys come up with for your multimodal rhetoric because I love multimodal rhetoric. It's one of my favorite things. So a couple things for housekeeping. First of all, the presentation assignment is going to be coming up. And so your presentation will start the week of week 11, I believe. And so if you have not taken a look yet at the presentation, here are the directions. So, in a nutshell, what you're going to be doing is you are going to be recording a visual presentation of you teaching the class about you're rhetorically analyzing a piece of multimodal rhetoric. What does that mean? So, some of my favorites have been music videos, art, and I've had podcasts, I've had TikToks. So you can kind of do it whatever you want, but you're going to take the perspective of either taking on baloney detection, right, which is where you're going to have your student baloney detection, which is where you're going to like figure out like whether or not somebody's lying to you, right, the pseudoscience of it. But then also like analyzing how like color choices and typography and other things like influence how we view a piece of rhetoric that's not just written. So the thing that you need to know is that you are going to record this. So what I would do is I would pick your favorite recording software. Screencastify is a really good one. Canva recording is good. I'm pretty sure that Google Slides has an option. And I like Google Meet, but everybody has something different, Zoom. But I would just, so you put on and you're presenting like you would be presenting, but you're just going to be recording yourself and then uploading the video, and everybody will get a chance to see you teach the subject, but then also respond to your ideas. And it's great because since we're asynchronous, we get a chance to like interact with each other, which is very helpful for us. So let's get to okay. So your presentation sign up. So just make sure that you go ahead and sign up. If you feel like you would like you don't want to go March 16th because it looks like that's everything else is filled. Just let me know. We can probably make something work. Okay, and so here I've got the fine art of baloney detection available for you to look at, which is a reading for the week, which is this piece, which tells you about like what baloney detection is and how to spot things that are inappropriate. And then I've got the baloney detection kit, which kind of goes into how to figure out what, like, when somebody's duping you or trying to manipulate you with rhetoric. So we're going to go with this. Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot one thing is that you need to see your Space Cat one pager. I haven't had a chance to talk about this yet. I'll bring it up next week. But what I want you to do is I want you to start thinking about um, what this might look like before you end up doing a rhetorical analysis presentation, because this will be a one page like visualization of a rhetorical analysis of a speech. So here's an example of what they look like. I am not opposed to you doing them online. So you absolutely can do them online. I know that these are all hand drawn, but you don't have to hand draw if it's not something that works well for you. And I will go into more detail about that next week. But if you have not yet taken a chance and look over those, please do so. Okay. All right. So multimodal rhetoric. Okay. So as you're taking like what we've done and kind of applying it to different tools and examples, here are multimodal literacies. So multimodal literacies are the ways that we make meaning in different ways, not just alphanumeric, but different modes of meaning. So we've got linguistic design, audio design, spatial design, gestural, visual. So there's so many different designs that come into play. And so we actually have so many other literacies that are not just about what the written text is. So, in multimodal rhetorical analysis, what we pay attention to is affordances, something that's enabled by a thing, and constraints, what's inhibited or prohibited by a thing. So, what does that look like? Okay, audience analysis, venue publication analysis, cross genre analysis. And so, like, you end up having a lot of like publications with this. So, things to think about for you. What are different types of communication and how are they limited, and then how do they actually give you more depending on what the modality is. So like with alphanumeric text you have more explanation, right, but very little input visually. So what's the difference between doing a rhetorical analysis of text and a rhetorical analysis of multimodality? Nothing really. But in practice, rhetorically analyzing multimodal composition lets us focus on the means of communication, um, not just the like actual lines themselves. So the means of communication, what does that mean? Modality, medium, genre, and circulation. So this is like how something is created and what kind of effect that it does have. And so going kind of back a little bit on this is that if I launch some visual rhetoric as like a counter here, this is an additional piece, is that like you see images rhetorically, right? In this way. So, like, not only do we have a gestural analysis, but we also have typography, we've got arrangement, and we've also got like compositional styles. So, visual arguments and multimodal arguments come in a lot of different forms. Okay, so we've got advertisements, graphs, charts, paintings, pictures, photographs, cartoons, and then you also have things like the Super Bowl, which had, which was like a moving rhetorical piece as well. So when you're analyzing images, gestures, whatever, you want to think about what and how. So in other words, what the main argument is, how it's broken up into compositional aspects, right? So visual argument here. So with I know that it'll take me a while to go through all this. I'll try to be brief, but like it's threatening, right? So he's gesturing with his little hand. He's got this angry and scowly face, and then we have these little like indicators that he's from Japan, right? And then pathos, keep this horror from your home, invest in war bonds, right? And so we have a very intentional misrepresentation here. So it's like baloney detection. This is propaganda baloney detection. But then other things that are images, like if you have a piece like this that's like Obama, right? So you've got red, white, and blue, got this big word hope, that's this catalog, this like idea of America representing American values, and then he's looking up at the sky. And so all of that aids our understanding of what the text means, right? So things to keep in mind is that photographs use composition lines, political cartoons use exaggeration, paintings use color and symbolism. Like Bad Bunny, when he did the Super Bowl, like he had the like line workers in Puerto Rico to represent like the grid that's down in Puerto Rico. Graphs, posters, and so like this is one example, right? of this. So, New Yorker, this is right at COVID. We know that because it's 2020, right? So the nurse is talking. We see this picture in the center of this nurse being taken away from family. There's like COVID that just came in. And so, um, and the techniques that are being used, you got these blues in the background, this warm picture in the middle, and it's appealing to our like emotional needs. Here's one more example. So, Uncle Sam. Okay. So I'm getting a little long in the tooth, so I think I'm going to let you go and look at those in more detail as you need it. But remember to sign up for your presentation and to discuss on multimodal rhetoric board. Be thinking about your presentation, be thinking about your upcoming one pager, but nothing huge happening quite yet. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week.